Let's move over to number 17th ranked Iowa State at number 6th ranked Oklahoma State. Big 12 action. Iowa State 3-1 overall, 3-0 in the Big 12. Oklahoma State 3-0, 2-0 in the Big 12. Let's see what we are dealing with here. Oklahoma State 3.5-point favorites. That's right across the board. And this total opened up at 53. It's now at 54. Iowa State coming off their third straight win, 31-15 at home over Texas Tech. Oklahoma hasn't played since a 47-7 win over Kansas. Their game against Baylor postponed due to Baylor's positive COVID test. So this is a rested squad. Iowa State, Oklahoma State. John Ryan, take it away.
I like Iowa State in this game. Earlier this year, I had on one of the shows, we were talking about Iowa State, Oklahoma. And Oklahoma lost that game as well to Iowa State, but that was at Iowa State. This is a road game for the Cyclones. But I think it's a game that they can win. Oklahoma State is ranked 6th this week, I think. And if I'm wrong, they're ranked 5th or 7th, but they're in that middle of that top 10. Iowa State is only a 3.5-point underdog going to Oklahoma State. The fact that it's that low tells me that these teams are pretty much equal in terms of their overall strength. So in a neutral type of environment, if we ever had that again, this would be a pick'em game. There's not going to be, to my knowledge, there's not going to be a full stadium just yet in the Midwest stadiums, which we've talked about time and time again, how it gives such an advantage to the road team. And why, as Connor mentioned earlier in the show, the overs have been going over in abundance. So with Iowa State having that advantage to be able to call audibles, especially on third downs, without the stadium just rocking and you can't hear anything, that's huge. And I also think Iowa State is actually the better team. And I know we could debate that all afternoon with our chat friends in there and have a good old time. But I really think this is a game that Iowa State comes away with a win.
The cappers in the chat agreeing cash action bets on Iowa State. The Czar liking Iowa State too. Let's see what CMac has to say about Iowa State here on the road as 3.5-point dogs.
Yeah, I'm a big Iowa State fan. I have been the last few years. I don't know about this spot though. I know Oklahoma State hasn't played well. This one just got me. I went over this last night, and if I took Iowa State, I'd take a money line to win. I think Oklahoma State either, like you said, they're so far up the ranking. I don't think they're that high of a ranked team, but they are at home. The line is short. It's a tough one. This one was just a head scratcher. You got to think Oklahoma State starts scoring at some point. It's just been a weird year. Mike Gundy's team plays defense and they don't score. Come on. Yeah. It's 40. I'm a man, you know. So his offense usually has been great. It's a pass. Sorry. It's Iowa State or pass. Iowa State money line or pass.
And I think fundamentally here, one matchup to watch, and maybe we can talk about it later in the week, is Gundy as a coach has not done well against good rushing defensive fronts that are able to stop the run.
Yeah.
That would make Gundy's offense one-dimensional, which, as you said, that's what we're used to seeing with him is just a gunslinger and just keep piling on the points and hope you have more than the opponent. But I think that's where you're going to – like you're watching the first quarter, I usually watch the line of scrimmage, for the penetration on one side or the other. For example, the first nightmare I had was the Georgia-Alabama game this past week where Georgia was just blowing them off the line. I obviously had Georgia, and I was feeling pretty good at that point. Didn't matter what the score was. They were just annihilating. But later in the game, you make adjustments, and it doesn't matter. Such could be the case in this game. But Oklahoma State doesn't have the depth that an Alabama has. But I think that's going to be the difference in the game is the Iowa State defensive front seven.
And the chat agreeing. A lot of people backing Iowa State here, except for Ben Sports 24/7 says Oklahoma State. Says Iowa State didn't cover last game at home. Don't see them covering this one. And the Czar says Georgia was the play until the drop passes and the picks. I remember it well. All right, Iowa State. CMac saying Iowa State or pass. John in the chat on Iowa State. Ben Sports 24/7 on Oklahoma State.